Hi everyone, Tim from Columbia 300 here. We're back with you today to talk about a brand new release, Pro Performance release. That's an exciting follow-up to one of our popular releases last year, the Ricochet Return. This is a hybrid version, so it's going to give you a little bit more traction and oil. And to display that today, we're going to have a lot of bowlers come out, throw on two different lane patterns. We have a sport pattern as well as a house pattern. Our first tester is going to be Mike Dole. Mike, why don't you come on in?
Good morning.
We have this ball drilled up for you. And you're throwing a couple shots, getting warmed up. So let's kind of see how you do with it out in the lanes. Okay, so very first shot there, you see pretty good mid-lane traction. You remember the Ricochet Pearl from last year.
Right.
Very shiny ball, very clean cover. This is just a hybrid version of that cover, so that's going to give you a little bit more of that mid-lane traction. And I think we saw that in that first shot.
Like, that's pretty good.
Better. Messenger, hey. So that was pretty good there.
Yeah.
And definitely that seems like the right move for you.
Right.
You know, being a little bit firmer.
Right.
Trying to move a little bit further to the left and squaring up a little bit.
And I feel like I could probably, if I move right, I definitely have to gear my speed down and be a little more consistent on angle-wise. Because like I said, the one shot I got it softer, but that way, and it never hooked.
Yeah.
So like I said, I could try and gear down. See what it does.
Just a little bit. Throw a shot or two. Trying to move a little bit deeper and gearing down.
Yeah, so we'll go back to kind of where we started, which is going to be about 6 right. But we're going to try is the key word. We're going to try and gear down here, make Bill happy.
That's definitely slower. And yeah, nice, the old 810.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, you can see like it really still has continuation.
Still
if
has
I can
a
let
lot
it
of
hook.
drive
Yeah.
to the pin. So
yeah,
that's kind of where we wanted it to be. We wanted to have that nice, stronger finish and continuation like that original one did.
Yeah.
We just wanted to pick up just a little bit sooner.
Right. And so, I definitely see that. I feel like this one I can use more with my, especially bowling on a harder pattern. I'm never going to want to start that far right with slow speed because the righties are going to go that way quicker.
Yeah.
So I try and keep as far left to stay out of their traffic as much as possible. So I wouldn't necessarily do that ever. So, but you can definitely see the more continuation and not as jerky of a shape as the original black one.
Yeah, and like once it gets going,
yep,
it's gonna keep going.
Yeah, I feel like it won't.
Started,
yeah, it doesn't miss it as much as the black one did unless you let it hook.
Okay, so when this comes back, why don't we head over to the house pattern pair?
Okay.
And we'll kind of see how it does in that environment.
Okay.
Throwing a couple shots on the sport pattern, do you feel like this is something that you would use when the lanes are fresher or more when they're broken down, being a lefty and less traffic on that side?
Definitely more broken down a ball for me. Usually that pattern's fairly flat, so I'd probably use something a little bit smoother, like a pulse maybe with some lane shine, not a dull pulse because I felt like it'd be too early on
probably
this.
Too early, especially
but
in the surface.
This would be a later in the day, or if we put some surface on it to start to blend it out, or like a slower responsive layout maybe.
Okay.
But theory, no. Theory would be a pulse.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna move 4 left of where we finished through the slow shot on the sport pattern.
Yeah, and that was ideal.
Yeah,
Now,
that was ideal.
perfect.
Yeah.
So you still see that strong mid lane roll.
Yep.
But you're taking advantage of the friction that's out there on the outside of the lane and letting the strength of that cover kind of give you a lot of drive to the pins.
Yeah, and when we did the Ricochet video here before, I was probably another 2 left because of how much cleaner it was and needed more friction to hook, where this one picked up where I needed it to see it to go through the pins.
Yeah, I don't know if you could draw a ball motion any better than that. You saw how strong it finished through the pins and left the pin deck behind the 9-pin. That tells you you're getting good angle. So.
And the color swirl kind of helps you tell you when you throw it good and when you throw it bad, because it's where the white goes. So
yeah, some people don't like to see all that stuff, but it is beneficial to watch your ball and kind of look how the colors are swirling. It tells you what your ball's doing.
Yep. So like that one got a little left, but it still picked up where it needed to.
Strong enough cover to not super bounce off of it, but still give you good drive.
Which is ideal on house patterns. You don't want it to be too quick off of it, generally speaking, because then it gets too erratic and inconsistent.
That's a little bit better. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't usually touch the surface until we're able to throw them in league and stuff because we're trying to see what it really does to the consumer.
Right.
We don't want to change it too much when we do stuff like this.
Most consumers don't mess with their surfaces, so you want to test enough. Right. That is the one way that you can really dial in the ball motion for you and give you the best of what you need. So we saw some really good ball motion today.
Yeah.
Both patterns look pretty good. Yes, you need to be a little bit firmer, a little bit closer to the edge on the sport pattern, but definitely over in the house pattern, it gave you a really, really strong drive through the pins, great motion, good continuation, good back end.
Yeah.
So do you have any final thoughts?
No, like I said, I think this one's going to be more of a all-around shape versus the Ricochet, where I felt like the Ricochet was really clean and whippy. Like it was a really designed motion, where this one's going to be more of a versatile because it's still clean, but it can give you with the white, that pigment, it kind of gives you that pickup in the mid lane where some of the guys that throw it hard or high rev rate guys are going to like it a little more, so it's not as erratic.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a lot more user-friendly than what the original Ricochet was. Ricochet fit that need or fit that target. It was clean, really strong off the back end. This one's going to be a lot more user-friendly, more usable for the masses, where people are going to see that stronger mid-lane traction and give you a lot more motion. All right, so now we're going to bring in our next tester, Lucas Buck. Lucas, why don't you come on in? Thanks for being here today.
Hi.
So we have Lucas with the Ricochet Return. We're going to have him start out on the sport pattern that you saw Mike throw on. So these are your first shots with the Ricochet Return.
Yes.
So you're going to see some. Did you have the original Ricochet? The Ricochet Pearl?
Yes.
Okay. Remember that one being much cleaner, a little bit of a sharper transition off of the friction.
Yep.
Need a little bit more friction from the lane to get it to go, because that's kind of what it was designed for, really long, really flippy. This one should be a little bit stronger in the mid lane and can just give you a little bit wider window of usability because of that hybrid cover. So, all right, let's see you throw a couple. So I can tell you have that kind of college bowling ball roll.
Yeah.
You know, pretty heavy end over end, not a lot of axis rotation. So bowling on tougher patterns, that's kind of what keeps you in play and puts you in a good spot. You're never going to be shut out.
I definitely see it a bit more in the mid lane there compared to the original Ricochet.
Now when you got a little bit more rotation, you saw it change direction still, but it didn't lose that consistency in the mid lane. So now we're going to jump over to the house pattern. This is the Sherman Bowling Center house pattern. It's going to be 2 feet longer than what the sport pattern was, but it should be a much more blended front to back as well as left to right. So it should be pretty friendly for you. So on the house pattern here, pretty old lane surface. So there's going to be a little bit of friction in the front just from the age of that surface and the wear on it. But however, the pattern does have a decent amount of volume. A little off balance there, but it's still shaped really well.
A little double dribble.
So I know you've thrown the original Ricochet Pearl a lot. You know, you bowl a lot of those MSBS tournaments in the Midwest.
Yep.
And I've seen that Ricochet come out a bunch for you. How do you feel like this one's going to compare to what that one did for you?
I feel like the Ricochet is a little more forward off the spot. It gives me length, but then it snaps in the back end. This one being like a hybrid, a little smoother, sees more early.
So when you said you saw that Ricochet being cleaner and have a really sharp break point, that's what that ball was designed for. This one should be a complementary shape to that. Okay. So overall hook should be about the same or in the same ballpark at least. Just the shapes are going to be what's different. How do you feel about this Ricochet Return so far?
I really like it. Like we said earlier, compared to the original Ricochet that I've thrown quite a bit, I think this will slot right there with it and give me that earlier motion that I'd look for earlier in the day.
Yeah, I mean, it looks really, really good for you. And your game is good, but you're making the ball look really good too. Trip four. Boom.
Got that one inside.
Yeah, you got it inside, but it still had a strong enough roll to kind of not be too negatively impacted by that. It was able to push, but still kind of face the pocket good enough to strike. So that's going to do it for Lucas here today for the Ricochet Return. Looked really good. Do you have any final thoughts?
I really like that ball compared to the original Ricochet. I think they'll work hand in hand together. And yeah, I can't wait to throw more of it.
Perfect. Well, thanks for being with us today. Appreciate it. So we just saw Mike and Lucas have great success with that Ricochet Return. 2 different styles. One's firmer, speed dominant lefty in Michael. And then we also had Lucas, who's a little bit more of that college bowling, you know, end over end, speed and rev rate match type player. So we're gonna bring in another tester, Connor Johnson. Connor, why don't you come on over here to lane 22?
For sure.
Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, of course. Happy to be here.
Appreciate it. Let's get you on the lanes and let's see what it does.
Let's do it.
So on 22 today, we have the, they call it the Phantom pattern. It is the high school pattern that the entire state of Michigan uses for their high school leagues and tournaments.
Sure.
So it's a little bit tougher. You know, it's not. That was probably as good as a guess as you can make.
I guess.
As good of a guess. So
Yeah, it looked pretty good.
yeah, I really like what I saw there. So.
Oh,
That's
a
pretty
little
good.
lucky.
Little bit up the lane, but it tells you you're at least in the right zone because that was a little up the lane and it still got to the 1-3. Granted, it was a little high and tripped the 4-pin.
A little high, but it still went through the pins pretty
Yeah.
strong. So yeah.
So let's pick these up. Let's head over to the house pattern lane.
Cool.
We're going to go over to lane 23 and kind of see how they work in that environment.
Yeah.
I was impressed with how it did on the sport pattern.
Uh-huh.
This is, you know, we haven't designed it to really be a fresh pattern ball.
Sure. Yeah.
However, being a fairly fresh sport pattern and having the pin down or the dot down to give you a little more control, that probably helped it match up even better. So
Sure.
it was quite impressive.
Cool.
All right, so go ahead and grab that Ricochet Return. Give it a good wipe. All right, go ahead
Yeah.
and let's give it a whirl. Let's see what we got.
Let's see what we got.
There you go.
There we
Much
go.
better. Much better.
It's a little bit better.
Yeah, and you can see that ball, like, the term we use a lot is slow down or speed up,
Sure.
right? So if the ball's reading the lane right way and it's starting to change direction, we call that slowing down. That one definitely slowed down much better. It's done pretty good for our testers so far today. We'll have Lauren come in. You've seen Lauren in a bunch of our other videos. You guys remember Lauren from our previous videos, firmer ball speed, needing to lower rev rate, likes to play a little bit more down and in, more of that stereotypical league bowler. So you're gonna see a lot more of how this style will work for you by watching Lauren. So here's your Ricochet Return. Looks like you got a couple shots on it, warming up. Little scuff marks from the belts in the back. So let's see you throw some shots on the sport pattern. This is the Michigan's high school sport pattern. Better. Yep. Light mixer there, nice shot there. Yeah, that was a great shot there. And you saw, even with your firm speed, you saw the ball try and do something and try and work for you to help you get flush. So
Yeah,
very
mid lane,
nice.
down lane. See it trying.
yeah, so you get one more, just nice and easy. There you go. We went flush, we struck. It's good things.
Yes.
So now we're going to move over to the house pattern. You're going to bowl on 23 now. So you said this place typically has more oil than where you bowl league at.
Yes.
So I would say stand where you normally like to bowl, then we'll adjust and figure out how to get lined in from there.
Sounds good.
Looks pretty good. Not bad. See how perfect we need to be in order to strike? Yeah, that one looked pretty perfect. You definitely rolled it and got through it better.
Yep.
And directionally, it was, you know, right in between those last two. So that's why you went flush. So, you know what? Just for ha-has, I'm gonna go grab a pad and let's break the shine.
Sounds good.
See what it does. I'm just gonna take a 1000 pad. It's not a fresh pad. It's got some wear on it, so it's not gonna have that super aggressive texture. I'm just gonna go over the surface of the ball just to try and break that shine. It does come through with a high shine and a really high luster. So I'm just gonna try and break that off a little bit to try and better match your style, being so speed dominant. So Now we'll probably move 2 with your feet. We'll start there.
Sounds good.
Just try to go over it gently. Yeah, there you
There
go.
we go.
Much better.
Mhm.
So that's one of the big things that's important to remember when you're getting new bowling balls is yes, we designed it to do a certain thing, and yes, the cover is tuned to do a certain thing, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to match up perfectly for you. You want to be able to take the surfaces, adjust them as needed, scuff them if you needed to pick up sooner, shine them if you needed to go longer. You need to be able to adjust the finishes on your bowls on your bowling balls to get them to do exactly what you want them to do. So, Lauren, I appreciate you taking the time and throwing some shots for us today. Do you have any final thoughts on the Ricochet Return?
I am very excited to throw it, honestly, with my success with the normal Ricochet. I feel like this will be a good addition to my bag.
Yeah, I think it's going to fit in, especially people that did like that original Ricochet. It's different, but it's not so far different where it's going to put you in a different world. So the Ricochet Pearl was very successful for us, and we're excited to see the Ricochet Return kind of keep that going. So appreciate everybody tuning in. Be sure to check out the Ricochet Return at your local pro shop. Thanks again.